Okay, good evening. So I think I'm next to last. One more guy to go. So I will try to keep it below 10 minutes. And just a quick introduction. My name is Faisal Fayyaz. I don't have 30 years of IT experience, but I have been in the IT field for over 16 years. And I've worked in all, I guess, the three main areas of IT: servers, storage, and on networks as well. What I want to talk about today, how many people here have heard about Juniper networks? Not everybody. At least I've heard people, refer to Juniper as Jupiter. So at least if I can close my presentation today, so at least you get an understanding. It's Juniper networks and what we are doing in the industry today. In what we are innovating a new network, and that's what I want to talk about today. Basically, Juniper Networks is coming to market with a new network that is basically going to enable our customers and businesses to be able to maximize the utilization of your products and services, so that you will be so that this network will be able to meet the demands of the coming decade. So it's a revolutionary new architecture that we're delivering. You probably heard some announcements made earlier, and I'll touch on some of this today as well. Our founder and CTO, Pradeep Sindhu, had a vision and a mission. And that mission basically is to connect everything and empower everyone. And in order to achieve that mission, basically what we are doing is embracing strategies that involve innovation, automation, and simplification. So those are the three key things that we look for when we want to come to market with a solution. And the way we are doing this, real simply, is by building our own custom silicon that we build into all our networking systems, and we basically run and manage all of our systems using our Junos software, which Junos basically is a modular, single code base that runs basically within all our technologies. And this approach, really, how does that lend to cloud services? This basically will enable you in two key areas, okay? It will enable you to build an open network, basically. And this open network will enable you to be scalable and flexible when you go into deploying your cloud-enabled services for your organizations. And in addition, inside your data center, what we are going to enable you to do is build a simplified fabric, basically. And this fabric will, the big benefit of this fabric will be to reduce costs and also give you the same benefits of scalability and flexibility that you look for in an enterprise class network. If we look at, talk about the data center aspect of things first before I go to the open network. If we look at data centers today, we see a lot of innovation happening, primarily from the applications on the server side and on the storage side as well. For example, in applications, we are seeing the traditional shift from client-server-based applications to a more distributed application base, right? Today, applications, we think of them as being federated. We're employing applications, architectures, service-oriented architectures, web services, software as a service. And basically, all this is so that all this federation in the application space is basically allowing you to be more flexible, okay, in deploying your applications when you go out into deploying the next generation applications in your organizations. When we look at the server side, we see a lot of adoption of virtualization, right? We heard a lot about what virtualization in the server space can do. It's a great solution. It allows you to consolidate, do consolidation and be more efficient. It allows you to consolidate a lot of your physical servers and enable you to run a lot of your applications in virtual servers. All this points to reduced costs, better efficiency, all those good things. And when we look at traffic patterns in an Ethernet network, over the last few years, we've seen a lot of adoption of storage network traffic. It's become a lot of prominence inside of an Ethernet network. And this storage network traffic has its own unique characteristics, and it demands special attention that needs to be paid to it. So in order to build a next generation data center that will basically embrace all these innovations that are going on in the spaces that I mentioned, you need to have a network that is not only very high performance, but it's also flexible, scalable, and that can also deliver end user level, service level agreements. And if we look at the networks that are there today, we see that a lot of that innovation hasn't happened, and networks are becoming, in many cases, a barrier to or slowing down the innovation that's happening towards the cloud services. So what Juniper has basically done is we've innovated a new data center fabric. And what this data center fabric is about is simplifying your network. So this fabric looks like, from a simplification perspective, a single switch. Because what would be more simple to manage in a huge network if your network looked like a single switch? And that's what we're proposing here. But yet, we give you the same resiliency and the same flexibility of a real network, that we are used to. What this fabric will allow you to do is to interconnect all your devices within the data center and be able to provide you with the reduced operational costs, because those operational costs are going to come from having a simplified network with a lot less devices to manage on the network. Because what we typically see in today's environments is when you go out to deploy your compute and storage and applications, we see this pod effect happening inside of the data center. You have the Exchange server pod, or you have the whatever, you have these pods. And what this restricts you is, as you go deploy virtualization in your data center, is the free movement or the ease of movement of virtual machines and applications within the data center or across data centers as well. And so what this new fabric will allow you to do is simplify all that for you and allow you to take that next step and move forward. Now let's go beyond the data center. And if we look at what a cloud services-enabled network typically will look like, it will have basically three main components. A cloud-ready, one of them is a cloud-ready data center, and for connectivity, you'll have a scalable, elastic, wide area network, and then all your secure mobile clouds that are connecting into your infrastructure. What we basically look for inside of this kind of an environment is we need to be able to have openness built in, because this is a complex environment. And by allowing and embracing open standards, Juniper is able to allow third-party developers to easily build applications that can add flexibility and that can add usability as the user behavior or the application requirements change. So what we are allowing you to do is, allowing our customers and partners to do is build applications that will run inside the network, that will be able to talk to our Junos operating system using open standards, using the Junos SDK, or this Junos space environment that we have built that allows you to run inside your applications to run inside the management layer as well, and be able to manage your infrastructure. A well-architected network, basically, the main things that we look for, are the things that I mentioned, so I don't want to speak of them. But one of the key things in a cloud-enabled infrastructure is the security. And the security that we want to achieve from our applications cannot be restricted just to the data center. That security needs to be expanded to the end user, whether it's to his PC or to his iPad or to the smartphone. And that's where we're enabling you to be able to get this end-to-end security. And the key thing we look for in this whole infrastructure is really to provide you with a service level agreement that your customer will be happy with. Because if that service level agreement, if those services cannot be delivered within the service level agreement, your business will not feel comfortable going to a cloud-based environment. All right. So I was very short, so I'll basically summarize. So in summary, basically what, as I mentioned, a innovative network basically will have benefits not just that go well beyond the network itself. Through simplification of the network, we empower you to deploy your compute and storage resources in a more efficient manner. So that all boils down to reduce costs, because if you can deploy all those things efficiently, you will also reduce costs. And in the end, all of the benefits that I mentioned of end-to-end security, service level agreements, they're very important for that customer experience. Because if the customer experience is not there, the differentiation will never be there, whether to go with a cloud-based environment or to just stick with what I have today. Okay? Thank you.